Hi guys, welcome back. The time of Bs-6 vehicles has arrived and pretty soon every bike will be of Bs-6 standard. But as of now, there are plenty of BS4 vehicles and a few Bs-6 ones. And in that, Honda's SP125 is the first Bs-6 bike from Honda. Well, the pricing of it is actually almost similar to the Honda Unicorn 150 ABS, and today we're gonna compare these two bikes so that if you're confused between these two, then probably this video will help to make the decision. Like all our classic comparison videos, we'll concentrate on these 5 factors. And let's start with the first factor, which is the design and build quality. Well, Unicorn is a bike which has retained its classic design from the beginning. On the front, there is a very familiar headlight with a glossy windshield, which is now a very familiar one, but still, it doesn't look bad. But what's a bit disappointing as of now is the headlight unit, which is still halogen. Well, the main problem is not that it's a halogen bulb, but its range and coverage is just average. You can get through with the headlight at night, but still I wish Honda would have improved its range. Then moving to the instrument console, it's the same old fully analog one which has this 3-circle setup. Well, the info shown is very basic and surely the setup looks dated. Then for the handlebar, it's the U-shaped one, and for the switch controls, you get all the necessary ones like the dim bar bright switch, pass light, indicator toggle and horn on the left side, and just the self-start switch on the right side. Now, one of the things that is still very attractive with the Unicorn is its fuel tank. It is sufficiently wide and clean with just the Honda logo on it. But after that, for the rear, you're again greeted with the same old tail light, which is fine, but it's a very familiar one. And same is the case for the exhaust. Well, after checking the Unicorn 150 ABS's design, one thing is that it's a very classic design. There is no sharp aggression or curves, but the build quality is good, and overall the bike will last well for a long time if you take care of it. Now for the design of the SP125, it's totally different from the design of the Unicorn. This 125cc bike has a sharp and standout design. The headlight is modern looking and the visor used actually blends well with it. But more than the design, it's the headlight unit used here which impressed me the most. It's an LED headlight and it's a really good one. The range and coverage is far better than the headlight of the Unicorn, and this one really helps you to get through pitch dark conditions. Then for the digital meter used here, it's a small panel but it shows plenty of stuff which are actually necessary ones. And then for the fuel tank, the one used here has a bit more curve than the one in the Unicorn, and you also get a tank shroud which looks sharp, and that's complemented with the aggressive graphics used throughout the bike. And the taillight used is also modern than the one in the Unicorn, and also the pillion grab rail is better in the SP125 both in terms of look and comfort. Then for the exhaust, it's a compact one, and finally for the build quality of the SP125, it is as good as the Unicorn, and similarly like the Unicorn, I feel the bike will last well in the long run. Like I always say, design preference varies based on individuals, and for me from these two bikes, I like the SP125's design more than the Unicorn. So now let's take the second factor, which is the specs. Specs are just for reference, and the main thing is that Unicorn is powered by a 149.2cc air-cooled 4-stroke carburetor single-cylinder BS4 engine, while the SP125 is powered by a much advanced 124cc 4-stroke PGM fuel injection Bs-6 engine. The max power and torque of both these engines are here so that you can get an idea about it. And for the rest of the things like the ground clearance, it's 179 mm for the Unicorn, while for the SP125, it's much lower at 160 mm. Then for the weight, the Unicorn is the heavier of the two, weighing 146 kg, while the SP125 is just 117 kg. Then the fuel tank capacity is again higher for the Unicorn at 13 liters, while the SP125 has an 11-liter tank. Then for the brakes, the Unicorn has a 240mm disc on the front and a 130mm drum on the rear, and it also has ABS equipped on the front, so the Unicorn is now a single-channel ABS bike. And for the SP125, the front brake can either be 240mm disc or 130mm drum, and the rear is 130mm drum. Well, you don't get an ABS option with SP125, but there is CBS, which is combi braking system. Then for the tires used, the Unicorn has a 80mm front tire and a 100mm rear tire, while the SP125 gets the same small 80mm front and rear tire. And finally for the suspensions, the Unicorn gets telescopic forks on the front and monoshock on the rear, and the SP125 gets telescopic fork on the front, but on the rear, it's just a 5-step adjustable hydraulic suspension. Well, looking at the specs, things are a bit better for the Unicorn, but the main thing, which is the engine, is where the SP125 surely has an advantage. But like I said before, specs are just for reference, and the main thing that matters is the third factor, which is the ride quality and comfort. We'll start with the Unicorn, and the Unicorn is still a very smooth and refined bike. Its engine is still a pretty good one, and it's an engine which has a linear performance. There are 5 gears available, and the bike doesn't show much aggression in any of those gears, but still the bike can gain speed without much stress, and the best part is that there isn't any vibration from any parts up to a speed of 80 km per hour. The bike can gain much higher speed, and in fact it can hit 100 plus km per hour mark, and even at that speed the bike stays well planted on the road. And for the comfort, the Unicorn is a bike which is famous for its comfort. The seating posture is perfectly upright and seats are good for both the rider and the pillion, and that all combined with one of the best suspension for a bike in this price range, the Unicorn is still a very comfortable bike. Now, one of the main gripe I had with Unicorn in the past was its braking performance, and now with the inclusion of ABS, braking has improved a lot. Well, it's still not the best, but when I did some quick brakes, the brake did respond well. And also, if in case you feel the Unicorn is a heavy bike weighing 146 kg, well, the weight distribution in the Unicorn is pretty even, and therefore the bike is an easy to control one. Now for the SP125, this is a new engine, and I have to say that this FI engine is a really good one. The moment you hit the self-start switch, the bike starts without any gear meshing noise, and actually it's a very satisfactory feel. The initial impression already gives you an idea about how well refined and advanced this engine is, and on taking the bike for a ride, you'll be surely enjoying all the refinement of this new Bs-6 engine. Honda did a great job here with the engine with its new enhanced smart power technology, and that's evident in the performance of this engine. It's just a 125cc engine, but it still did perform much more better than what I was expecting. Because here, unlike the old 125cc engines from Honda, this one didn't show any signs of engine stress even while riding in the 80 plus km per hour mark. And from the 0 to 70 km per hour range, the bike is so much refined and smooth without any vibrations, so that I enjoyed the ride a lot. And also the 5-speed gearbox used was a smooth and an issue-free one. I could easily switch gears without any trouble, and in all the gears, the performance like the Unicorn was linear but still powerful enough. And also the bike can hit speed range of 100, but I surely won't recommend you do that with the SP125. And the reason for that is actually one of the main drawbacks of this bike, and that is the brakes. Well, the model I tested has disc on the front and drum on the rear, but sudden brakes at high speed is a big risk with this bike. Now at controlled speed, the brakes do respond well, and therefore it's always best to maintain that speed. And for the suspensions used, it is not as great as the ones in the Unicorn, but overall with the perfect upright seating posture and averagely soft set suspension, I didn't face any stress or strain even while riding through some really bad road conditions. And also since it's a lighter bike, flicking around in traffic was a breeze. Now overall, both the bikes has their own pros and cons in terms of ride quality and comfort. The Unicorn still has the upper hand in comfort side, but it's not a very drastic upper hand, and the SP125 does shine with the overall engine quality, and therefore I was enjoying the ride on the SP125 more than the ride in the Unicorn. Well, average brake and very small tires did restrict me to hit higher speed with the SP125, but overall I usually enjoy riding my bike in the controlled speed range, and because of that, my choice in this factor from these two bikes is the SP125. And also in case if you're wondering, with both these bikes, my foot was well planted on the ground and I didn't face any issues based on seat height. And for your reference, my height is 176 centimeters. And also, one more thing is that both these bikes are best suited for daily city commutes and also for occasional touring. Now let's move to the fourth factor, which is the price. Well, the ex-showroom pricing of the SP125 this variant is approximately 5,000 Indian rupees less than that of the Unicorn ABS variant, and here is the present ex-showroom pricing of both these bikes. And that takes us to the final factor, which is the mileage. Well, for this factor, I wasn't able to properly test the mileage of the SP125, but it's surely higher than the mileage of the Unicorn 150, which has an approximate mileage of 50 km per liter in city conditions. Well, I guess that's all for the comparison of both these bikes. Now, both these bikes are really good ones, but in the end, based on priorities, we'll have to decide one. For me, based on my use, I'll pick the SP125 over the Unicorn 150 ABS. Now, there are reasons for that, and that is, I slightly lean more towards the design of the SP125 over the Unicorn, and for the performance, even though Unicorn has slight upper hand because of the higher engine capacity, for me, I was much more impressed by the engine refinement of the SP125. I did notice the better smoothness of this new engine, and also it feels like it's gonna last well and age well. And that combined with the lesser price tag and better mileage for the SP125, which did cover up for me for the downsides like braking and smaller tires. Well, either of the two you get, you'll surely be happy. But if you ask me for a suggestion, as of now, I would surely recommend to get the SP125 over the Unicorn 150. And before signing off, I would like to thank Vahini Honda Kollam for providing me both the bikes for testing, and also if you want to do a test ride or make a booking, you can contact the number shown here. That's up for this video guys. Hope you liked it. If so, please do hit the like button and also please do subscribe. See you again in the next one. Till then, bye.